Softech Coding. This is the 23rd video of our Coding with Scratch series. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm continuously going to make videos. We'll come back to those who have already watched past episodes, but if you haven't watched the previous ones and don't have the background knowledge, I would highly recommend starting from episode 1. Alright, let's get started. So, today we are going to be making Flappy Bird. Now, Flappy Bird is a really fun game where you click on the screen and the bird has to move up and go through a series of pipes. So, we're going to start by going to costumes and deleting one of the cats and actually selecting everything, or you can just do Control A or Command A and deleting it. Then we're going to be making a bird, so I'm just going to hold Shift, make a circle, and we can make it a little yellow bird, make it nice and light yellow. And then once we've done this, I'm going to go to Paint and make it a little bit smaller, maybe size 3. And I'm going to make it all black, and I'm going to make a little U-ish shape. I'm going to select this and make it a little bit less wide, and I'm going to put that there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a square here, and I'm going to make it more of like an orangish color. I'm going to click on this one here, and I'm going to select one of the corners, and I'm going to delete it. And the other corner, I'm going to bring into the center. So now I'm going to make this a little bit longer, make these a little bit smaller. We've got ourselves a little beak. Now we're going to click on this one. We're going to bring this down here. This is a good spot. So now I'm going to make little wings for our bird. So I'm just going to click on the circle tool and make it a little ovalish shape. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this eyedropper tool, make it the same color as the bird, except it's going to be a little bit darker. Well, maybe I should fix that. We could make it, do it again, a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, just so that's a little bit different. I actually liked it when it was the beak's color better. So if this doesn't look nice, then we can just make it the beak's color. Yeah, I actually think I preferred it as the beak's color. So I'm just going to click on this mouse, click on the beak, click on the fill, and I'm going to fill the wing the color of the beak. And I'm going to click on this and duplicate, and I'm going to angle it a little bit so it looks like it's flapping. And I'm going to click on the eye, and I'm going to shrink it a little bit so that it looks like this is the animation that's going to be happening. So it's happier. Or we can just make it open its eye. Let's see how that looks. I don't think so. So let's just leave it at the happy eye here. Click on the eye, copy, paste, and we just shrink it a little bit like this. So now this is what our animation is going to be like. And one last thing we can add, if you click on the paintbrush, click on this, select the color of the beak. We can click on this zoom in button and zoom in a little bit here. And once we've zoomed in, all we have to do is reduce this to maybe 1, make it a little bit darker, move this way, and from here we can make a little smile. So now that we've got our little smile here, I'm going to put it maybe a little bit lower on the beak, shrink it in width, and you've got a little smile. You can make it a little bit longer and put it a little bit higher. See how it looks? It looks really nice. So I'm just going to click on it, click copy, go to this one, and click paste. So now what we're going to do is is it centered? Oh yeah, it's centered. We're all good. Alright, so now I'm going to go to code and name this sprite our birdie. So now our birdie, we want it to start the game here. So we're going to go to events and pull out our one green flag clicked, go to motion, and pull out the go to. So now it's going to go here when the game starts. And we want it to forever be switching costumes. So we're going to go to control and forever switch costumes and wait like, I don't know, 0.08 seconds between costumes. So now that's what it's going to look like. Maybe we can make it wait a little bit longer. So 0.1, this is 0.1, That's pretty good. It's going to be continuously flying. So we're going to be making a variable, and we can call it flight and flight. So what we're going to be doing is this is going to create gravity. So we want our bird to go down when we're not clicking and to go up when we're clicking, right? So what we want to do is pull out another one green flag clicked, a forever, and an if block. So sensing, if our mouse is down, because remember when the mouse is down that means we're clicking, right? Then we want to go up, right? So we want to change our y by, let's say, 10. But we want, if we are not clicking, that our y, so that it goes down, all right? Negative, like, I don't know, 10. So let's see how this works. The only problem with our code is our bird isn't exactly going back upwards. So to fix that, what we need to do, so I'm just going to put it here and stop it, is we're going to go to variables. When go is clicked, we want to set our flight to, okay, for now, let's just do it like this. When our mouse is down, we want to set our flight to a specific number, let's say 3. And we're going to change our y by 3, all right? So it's a specific number. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here, and if we're not clicking, they want to change our flight by negative, let's say 0.3, because this makes it go lower and lower. So what this is going to do is, as you can see, whenever we click, our flight goes to 4. But you see, if I'm holding it, it stays at 4, the flight here. But once I let go, this code will keep on reducing it by 0.3, making it fall. Because remember, our y is changing by flight. And our flight right now is negative 4.7. So this means that if it was just we weren't going to change anything, we were just going to change our y by flight, our bird would just be going down because we're going by negative 4.7. That makes it go down. And since here we're changing our flight by a negative number, it reduces this and makes it go even lower. So that's what happens. Now here, if our mouse is down, then we reset our flight to 4. Now the reason we're not creating a change block is we don't want it to go too high. Because if we go too high into the positives, we won't get a negative number and it will just keep on going up, just at a slower speed. I'll show you what I mean. So if we go to a change flight by, for example, 3, if you look at this, if we hold for too long, right now our flight is at 160. It's going to take so long to get it back down by reducing it by negative 0.3. This means that our bird's just going to be up there for so long, and it's going to just take so long for it to get back to 0 and negative numbers so that it starts to come back down. This is why instead of a change block, we're using a set block, which just sets it to 4, preventing it from going too high, because we can only just do 4. It still goes up and it comes down quite nicely. So now that we've got this settled, we need to start with a backdrop. So the backdrop I want to choose is just blue sky, because this is a nice brown at the bottom which we can use so that if it's touching that, then we stop the game. So now that we've got this settled, I'm going to go to our choose a sprite, and we're going to paint our tubes, all right, that our little bird has to fly through. So all you're going to do is choose a rectangle, make a nice little rectangle here, and make another one to be on top, just like that. And we're just going to select them both, make them, I don't know, which color should we make them? Maybe a nice blue to be a little different from the original game. So now we've got this, I'm just going to create a border for them just to look nicer. And this isn't aligned. So I think that looks pretty good. We can check to see how many pixels there are. So here we can make it exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels on this side. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just select this, give it an outline of black. Now I'm going to put this to the back. Actually, no, maybe not. So now that we've got that settled, I'm just going to select this, copy, paste, flip vertical, and I'm going to put this here. So now these are the tubes that our bird is going to be passing through. And actually, I don't think that the blue is a good idea because it blends in too much with the sky. We can make it a gradient. So let's see. We can make it a, how about a blue to darker blue gradient? I think that looks pretty cool. So now what we can do is we can flip it so that this part, the top part's blue, and then the bottom part, that's going to look really cool. So we'll just swap. So here the blues meet, and that makes it look really cool. So now what I'm going to do is as we are zoomed out, I'm just going to select everything and snap it to the center. And I'm going to click on this and I'm going to pull it as much as I can, and same with the other side so that they're as tall as possible. And we're just going to first rename this to our pipe obstacles. So now what we're going to do is we kind of duplicate this. And actually, we're going to be moving this more down so that we have different gaps for different pipes. So we're going to pick randomly from these, and we're going to have these as our obstacles. So I'm going to do Control A or Command A, move this back to the center, and I'm actually going to change the fill just to make it look different and interesting. Make one of them red, and I'm going to make the other one, let's say, yellow. So now I'm going to fill this up, and I'm going to swap and fill these up. So now that looks really cool. So now that we've got this done, oh, I need to swap this again. No, I don't, it's fine. So now that we've got this done, I'm just going to, okay, so what we can do is because this part is yellow and this part is red, it does look like they don't match. So we just can flip this so that the part going towards the center is yellow, and here we can do the same thing. Flip this so that this yellow matches with that yellow, this yellow matches with that yellow. There's red towards the center, and the yellow here is towards the center in the gradient. So now that looks much better. And I'm going to duplicate this again. This is going to be our biggest gap. I'm just going to move this up using the arrow keys. And I'm going to Control A to select everything and move it back to our center. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change our colors again. So maybe like that green to blue gradient we were thinking about before. So I'm just going to swap it so that the green is in the center. Green, oh, I need to swap it again for green to be towards the center. And then I'm just going to make the like this and swap like this. So now I'm just going to choose randomly from these three. So the green is the easiest, the reddish orangish one is harder, and then the blue one is the hardest one to pass through. But you do have to make sure that when you are making these that your bird can actually physically pass through the smallest one so that it's actually possible to play the game. So in the next video, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to code the pipes to move, and we're going to be creating the points or the score so that you can see how many of these pipes you have passed, and if you touch the pipes or the ground, you're going to end the game, and we're going to have our bird say, oh, you had this many points, and whether or not you beat the high score. So, thanks for watching. We have lots of other videos and many more are coming. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and please share this video with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and of course, I'll see you in the next episode.